That's my chicken.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Would you be a chicken for a Klondike bar? Yeah, how about you? Yeah, no cluck, no Klondike. Oh, nice chicken.
For that chocolate-coated ice cream, loaded big and thick, no room for a stick. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Just a few more clucks.
All right, and that was the Klondike Bar chicken commercial that we were talking about yesterday. So, as you can see, I am Finity and Ranger is out. So while the Ranger is out, the Finity will play, and doing stuff with the Klondike Bar chicken commercial is just the kind of stuff that I will do. Even more so, you see Ranger always talking about being on a diet and that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, here I am eating Chef Boyardee mac and cheese out of a can. It's just one of those days. And with me today are some of our regular lunch stream guests. So we have, first off, Mr. Sanely Red. Sanely, how are you doing?
Hey. It's going good.
And also we have Mr. Grimm.
How's it going?
What do you think about the Klondike chicken commercial?
That's
awesome. Hilarious.
I still can't believe there was actually a chicken Klondike bar commercial. It just fits so perfectly with everything that we've been discussing with Grande chasing chickens and Tits stealing Klondike bars. It just... I don't think it gets much better than that. So...
Sometimes you can't make this stuff up.
No, you just can't. So... Welcome to another lunch hour stream. As I said, Ranger is out for today, so I am doing the streaming. So welcome one and all that are able to watch. We're going to do some different stuff a little bit today. RSG is a team organization here. We do everything with YouTube kind of together, and that's part of the fun of it for us. One thing that's been happening recently is on our Wednesday night streams, if Grande messes up your name when he reads it for the shoutouts, Grande is supposed to do a mod review. And Grande's mouth is writing a lot of checks that he has to cash. So what we're going to actually do today is, while we're answering questions from you guys, which Sanely will be collecting, we're also going to do a roster review for a name that you all may be familiar with, Mr. John Moran. I'm not going to mispronounce his name in the way that got him a review, but we're going to do a review of his roster as we go through, and hopefully you guys are getting ideas too. I do have my 5 attacks for Phase 3 of the Sith Raid open right now, and I found an interesting combination that I want to kind of try out and maybe theory craft about. I did all my territory battle stuff, so I don't have that for today. But we'll do some of the Sith Raid, we'll do a roster review, and we'll answer questions. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. Sanely will be picking them up. I'm going to start with the raid here. So I found an interesting combination. I don't know what you guys, Grimm and Sanely, if you guys have explored this or not. But when you have Daka in your raid, right? Whenever she's alive, when somebody reses, they gain both offense up and defense up, right? So if Scarif Rebel Pathfinder dies, he can keep on popping up and resing. Because he'll res with buffs, and then get killed again, and then he'll res again with buffs. It's actually...
Nice.
It's actually a pretty neat combo. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get it to work. So, right now, I have it with... I was trying with Asajj, Daka, R2, Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, and Hermit Yoda. And I'm still working on my Hermit Yoda and my other characters here. But this was an interesting combo I was going to try to see if it actually can do... If it can actually work the way that I'm thinking about. The problem is there's a lot of AoE damage. So I'm trying to figure out where the best way to get extra health is. I don't think Hermit Yoda is actually needed in this squad because Daka provides him the buffs. So I think I may switch him out for... I'm not sure who I want to switch him out for.
Well, Hermit Yoda could still work in there. Just give you can give Masters training to Scarif, so when he dies, Hermit Yoda's cooldowns refresh, and
actually, I think it's actually better off on Daka, because I need Daka alive, right? The one issue is if Scarif Rebel Pathfinder gets isolate on him, because then he can't revive. So that is going to end up being the issue. So I'm going to try the squad. We'll try to put Master's Training on Daka and see how this goes. Insanely, do we have any questions yet while I'm attempting this?
Yeah, we got a couple.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start.
Addicts Mathma, I'm so hungry. Not keyboard hungry, but pretty hungry. What's up, RSG?
Again? Chef Boyardee, mac and cheese in a can. That is what is up. It is so good, by the way. Sometimes
Ellie Boba and the Ellie Boba and the 40 Rebels. Is this the Death Star canteen?
Is this the what?
Death Star canteen.
I don't think so. We're just a bunch of numbrods.
Okay, Paul Morgan, question: are you really hindering your guild if you don't have JTR?
Depends on your guild, right? If your guild is... So there's different types of guilds, and the goal is to try and find a guild that suits what you are doing and what you are wanting to do. Some guilds, and I can speak for our guild, we like to work together in order to try and make progress. So if somebody doesn't have... He had a buff. That's fine. So if somebody is trying to do... if their guild is trying to do it, then it's one thing. But if the guild isn't, and like they're not making a huge push for... if they're not making a huge push for the heroic raid, and they're just trying to work together and beat the content, then you're not a hindrance. But it's something that you do want to try and get, because he is a good character. So, or she is a good character. I don't know. What do you think, Grim? Do you think you're hindering your guild if you're not able to get her?
I don't know, really. It's quite possible, but considering they nerfed Exposed, she's not as badass in the raid as she used to be. But I don't have her either, so there are other teams that do comparable damage to her now in the Sith raid, so I'd probably lean towards no, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question.
Before we do that, apparently your gameplay is too loud.
Yeah, I turned it off. The sound should go away.
All right. Addicts Mathma, how does HK-47's revive work? I don't ever run droids.
He dies and then comes back with very, very little health, and then dies right then again. And then he doesn't revive again. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just has a % chance to come back.
You know, with this strategy, there's no reason for me to kill the sabers, and I can just keep on attacking trail. I'll try this again.
Do you have Asajj Zeta?
Yes, but I actually took Asajj out. So I want to make sure that Scarif with Pathfinders has buffs at the beginning, so I put in a Princess Leia lead. So I'm going to see how this works.
Ah.
So I can always keep something up on him, so we don't have to deal with any of those issues. Unless Leia goes like that, and for some reason goes 3 attacks without putting anything on.
Though it might be worthwhile using a speedy zombie.
I don't have a zombie that's high enough for the tier 6 yet. As soon as I get her,
Oh,
she's
okay.
going to be the character I'm going to play around with the most. Night Sister Zombie seems like she's just going to be awesome in this, but I don't have her at 6-star in order to use her anywhere.
Yeah, that's the character I've been spending my crystals on.
Yeah, I'm just waiting until she's free to play.
Bradzos Waga. Question for Affinity. Can you make a salty Twinkie? I like salty crepes. You could try a lasagna Twinkie. Take that diet.
Yes. I fully agree with you. I want to make a sweet and savory. I want to make a sweet and savory and a sweet and salty Twinkie once I start making them.
Addicts Mathma, would it help if this team was healed right away?
If it was healed right away?
I guess it's for the HK question.
No, this isn't the HK question.
So he's talking about the team that I have. If it was healed right away.
Yeah, would it help if the team was healed right away? You know, like right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if there was a way to get a heal going, it probably would help. I need to find a better combination here.
Oh, he was talking about HK.
Oh, okay. So what was the HK then?
He wanted to know if a team including HK, if there was a heal going off first, would that help the HK team?
Yeah, they gain so much turn meter, but yeah, the lack of healing is very... That's actually why I was saying I'm hoping for a Dr. Aphra. I feel like Dr. Aphra would complete a droid team for the Sith raid, and because she would be able to heal, maybe in a manner similar to Visas Mar, but droid specific. I know, Grim, you love Dr. Aphra.
Yes, I'd love to see her in the game with the 2 droid. But there's one problem with HK is his revive only works once.
Yeah.
You know, that's his drawback.
If you paired him with, though, like a Jawa Engineer, right, then you get another res with Jawa Engineer. I mean, the team could be HK, 86, 88, Aphra, and Jawa Engineer, potentially.
Oh, man, I'd love to see Aphra in the game. That would be so awesome.
Bradzos Waga, question, what about using a Lumi in that team? Doesn't she give heal over time when she heals?
Yes. And that is actually why I just switched to Barris. I'm going to try a Barris in the team and see if that helps. But
Ancient
I do have to remove the Bronzo weakness.
Ancient Farmer, question, is an R2 Zeta on combat analysis a better buy now that Arena is debuff heavy? I'd say yeah.
No, it's the opposite. Because combat analysis...
You don't use R2.
Well, the thing is, combat analysis is going to make your light side characters remove debuffs every time they crit, right? Yeah. So now you're actually going to trigger Emperor Palpatine getting turn meter, and the entire team getting turn meter. Combat analysis can actually be a detriment at this point.
In other words, yes, use it.
Awful. You're awful.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate ones where it was good, but the problem is it's going to be difficult, I think, at this point to use combat analysis effectively.
Okay, Thilka wants to know if you've tried it with a Lumi or Barris lead for auto heal.
Actually, that's a good idea. Let me put a Barris lead so they gain hit points. That is a good idea. I was just playing around with Barris, and I think a Barris lead is a good idea. So thank you. I will try that now.
Scooby, how long is the Vets farm? Are they worth a refresh or two every day?
Depends on where you are right now.
I would say you should be doing the refreshes anyways, though. Right? You want to try, and I know not everybody is in a position in Squad Arena and Fleet in order for it to be possible, but you should be trying to get 3 refreshes of Energy and Cantina every day. So that's 450 crystals. Between Fleet, getting into the top 20, and Arena, if you can get into the top like 20 or so, you should be able to sustain that, especially with the daily login crystal bonuses, plus the stuff that you get from Territory Wars. Doing 450 a day is possible, so it should be what you're aiming for. If you don't have enough in order to do it, then I can see it being a question. It is worth it only if you're getting close, like Grim is saying. It depends on where you are with the rest of your roster in order to get Jedi Training Ray.
Okay, Varkash, an alternate variation for this team Finity is testing. Jin lead, Scarif, Captain Han Solo, Chirrut, and R2-D2. All rebels and 2 revivers in case of isolate or Scarif caught without buff.
Yeah, that's a pretty good team too. I unfortunately do not have my Rogue One well enough in order to try that, though. That's the problem. And I think this will actually end up being a better team for something like Phase 2 with Scion. Because Traya is always doing AoE damage, so trying to get the healing up is one of the issues. But I can definitely see that working. She's at 11. Yeah, let me proc her. Alright, any other questions?
Yeah. Okay, and Addicts Mathma was talking about HK in your team, if you thought that was a good idea.
Oh, just for another res he's talking about, I guess?
Yeah.
I think there would be better options than HK in this team. I don't like... So, maybe it's just me. I'm not a big fan of HK outside of a lead position in a squad, because I don't find his utility all that great besides his leader. I don't know about what you guys think. I don't like his utility outside of lead position.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hey, that is Xylo, take down Swuggo, right? Did I get it in the right order?
Yeah, that's right, Ben. Thanks, fella. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Good.
What was the question again?
That wasn't a question that time.
Yeah, what am I walking into with HK?
I just don't think... I don't like HK-47 outside of a lead position in a squad. That just may be me. I haven't found him terribly useful outside of it. There are some rezzing, like nuisance rezzing teams that you can put together that would include like a Boba, a HK-47, a Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, maybe an Ewok Elder, and a Daka. So you just have like annoying rezzes just going on constantly, but
right.
I don't find them super effective. So.
Right, and I agree with you too. I don't agree, or if you're not putting HK in the lead, you're not getting the full use out of his kit.
All right, Nolan Rad, how would you prioritize developing these teams for overall gameplay? Zeta Crew, First Order, Rogue One, Night Sisters.
So Zeta Crew, First Order. What was the second one?
Rogue One and Night Sisters.
I'd say Night Sisters, then First Order, then Rogue One.
Yeah, I think I would.
Night Sisters are. Yeah, Night Sisters are amazing everywhere. I personally, I foresee First Order becoming very, very viable soon. And Rogue One is... I think their only real use is, what, in light side territory battles?
In territory battles. A Zeta Jin can actually do pretty well in territory wars itself with like a nuisance squad, but it's... Yeah, I would tend to agree that it's limited.
I mean, I wish it wasn't limited because it's it's a neat squad makeup, but yeah.
Well, casting's pretty fun, but again, the faction as a whole, I agree with the order you picked, Grim.
All right. Any more questions, Sanely? We can start looking at a roster for John Moran now.
Camille Bakalski. Got a question about farming. Considering you should get the highest gear for your arena team, do you try to keep the gear level of your arena team on the same level, or do you prioritize some tunes over others? On my example, I run Wiggs lead, Boba, Lando, Stormtrooper Han, and I'm a fairly new player, level 79. Should I try and farm to get them all to gear level 10 first, or should I maybe focus on Wedge or something else first and get him to gear level 11 or 12 before gearing the rest to gear level 10?
Depends on where you're finishing an arena. If your current squad is able to maintain like a top 20, you're getting a good income. If you're in the top 50, I would probably recommend trying to gear them up some more to see if you can push higher. There's also the balance of trying to figure out teams that will work in like Rancor and depending on where your guild is with that. If you're level 79, I'm assuming you guys are probably doing tier 5 or tier 6 Rancor and working your way up to Heroic. And Heroic is pretty easy once you get a Commander Luke, so you just need like the 7 stars characters for that. And then somebody can solo the entire Rancor for you. So I would say that you should, if you're doing well in Arena, you can focus on other characters, but try to keep your Arena squad at least one from maximum available. So Gear 12 is obviously going to be nearly impossible for anyone at your level, so I would consider the max Gear 11. And then so you want your Arena characters always Gear 10, and then your other characters, my personal philosophy as a free-to-play, it's to bring them up to one level lower than that. So I will bring in your case, I would try to keep my Arena at least Gear 10. I will bring other characters up to Gear 9 and stop, so that if I need them for Arena, I have only one gear level that I need to get for them, so it's a quick turnaround that I can use them in Arena. Going from one level to the next as you get higher requires a lot more farming to get there. So obviously getting to Gear 6 from Gear 5 is going to be easier than getting to Gear 10 from 9. And then 11 is harder to get to than Gear 10, and then 12 is even harder. So I would say as long as you're doing fine in Arena, Gear 10 is fine. But if you're not, then focus on improving those. And of course there's a mods aspect to this as well.
For the most part, I agree with you. What I was gonna say is what I did when I was leveling up is I picked my tank and I focused on getting him maxed out, my taunter, just so he could last longer to keep that taunt up while my other guys killed everybody off.
Yeah, you want your taunter early on in the game like that too, so that way you can work around all these heavier geared teams that you're trying to climb through an arena.
All right, so on the screen, I guess you guys will be able to see it here shortly. On the screen, I have, let me see, hopefully it's not going to lag too much. Let me see if I can share with you guys on the screen itself, so it's not too bad. Why is it not letting me? There we go. Okay, can you guys see it now? Hopefully it's not going to lag too bad. On Skype. So, actually I can see it's already lagging. I'm going to stop it. So...
yeah, just share the link and we'll look at it.
Yeah, here, let me get the link for you here. So what you guys are seeing is the Swago.gg page of John Moran. And what we're going to do is look over his mods a little bit. If you look at his graph right now that I have up, it's been on a little bit of a decline lately. He's having some difficulty in Arena, so that was part of what we were going to try and do today, is to just go look at his mods in particular, because Grande owes it to him. See what the status is, and then we can kind of...
Come on, Grande!
So, with this squad, right, so he has kind of a standard Jedi Training Rey team. So he has Jedi Training Rey, CLS, R2, Han Solo, and BB-8. So there's nothing really wrong with the squad. He also puts in a Thrawn every now and then, so it's possible that he just kind of changes around. I'm assuming the Han is because he's facing a lot of Emperor Palpatine team, so he's trying to stun that Vader off the bat. So in order to look at mods, you go to the mods area. Let me click on that. Okay. And the filter I want to run is speed secondaries. And what I want to just do is see if his best speed secondaries are on BB-8. So once we apply the filter here. Okay. Oh, he has a 20 speed secondary arrow. That's pretty nice.
That's impressive. Those are real rare.
Yeah, that's a really good one. He also has a lot of plus 16 speed mods on characters that I wouldn't keep him on. He has a diamond on Jyn. He has a cross mod on Asajj Ventress. A square on Stark.
So, I'd keep the one on Stark because you want Stark fast for the IPD mission anyway. So
you do, but it shouldn't be his best mods. I'm sure he has other mods that can get him up to. It's like a 220 minimum.
Right.
Stark. So
I agree with Grim. Keep Stark the way he is, and then find your speed primaries for BB-8.
I wouldn't. You can get you don't need that much speed in order to get Stark up to 220, which is all you need for the IPD mission to have him faster than the
right.
droids. So I would not keep a plus 16 mod on Stark when your BB-8 is not.
Yeah, mine's only at 176 speed. I did a video last night actually with the Veers without the Zeta and did the IPD mission, and I have Gear 10 Veers, Shore Trooper, Death Trooper, Gear 9 Stark, and a Gear 8 Snow, and I still clear it.
Yeah. So John Moran, we need to work on your mods. So let's take a look at your mods. Insanely, just interrupt whenever there's a question, and we can kind of go through both at the same time. So to go through your mods really quick, and then I'm assuming there's a question, Insanely?
Yeah, I got 4.
Okay, so let me just go through this really quick, and then we'll start answering questions as we're looking at things on the screen. So there's 2 things you have to pay attention to when you're remodding a character. One is your best speed secondary mods overall, right? But for non-speed sets. So that means it's going to be for the health, the defense, the crit damage, the crit chance, tenacity, offense, and potency. So those 7 are one classification when you're looking at speed, if you're just trying to get a character as fast as possible. Speed secondaries on a speed set are different. The reason being that when you have a set of 4 level 15 speed set mods, you're going to gain 10% speed bonus. So what you'll want to do is compare for the different slots, what is the maximum speed on that first grouping of 7 mods versus your best speed secondary on a speed set. Find out the difference, and then figure out whether or not you're better off using the speed set mods or not using the speed set mods. So as I'm going through these mods, you'll kind of see what I'm looking at, and we'll answer some questions along the way. I have a little piece of paper here where I'm making notes so we can come to conclusions really quickly. And so, Sanely, you can go ahead and ask questions, and I'm going to try and figure out his mods a little bit while we're discussing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime up real quick. I'm looking at BB-8's mods that he has on him right now, and yeah, he definitely needs work.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's got 2 mods that only add +5 speed, one that adds +8, one that adds +10, and another one that doesn't add any.
Yeah. So order speed, by the way, is going to be BB-8 first, then R2, then Jyn, and then you can figure out CLS and everything based on what you have left. Did I say Jyn? I meant Rey. Sorry. BB-8, R2, and Rey. And then you can look at CLS and Han Solo. Han Solo, you don't need a lot of speed because he's going to counterattack, and he's also going to double tap. And mainly you need him for that initial stun. So he doesn't need to be as fast, although you do want to get him fast, but you want to focus a lot of crit damage on him. Okay. So, Sanely, go ahead and start with the questions, and I'm going to start documenting his mods a little bit to come up with some ideas.
Nick Town, save Zetas for arena meta or the Sith Raid and RJT/BB-8?
Don't sit on those Zetas. Put them on those tunes as soon as you can. Just prioritize what Zetas you're going to do first. And JTR and BB-8 and R2 already call for 7 Zetas if you're going to do all of that. And then if you're basing tunes off the Sith Raid that you're going to Zeta, make sure that you have the factions together as a whole before you start Zetaing them.
Yeah, like for me, I'm holding off on Zetaing anyone for the Sith Raid because I still think that there's going to be some more nerf bats flying around here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
CG
want to end up
waving around the
Zetaing
nerf bat.
someone only to have them get nerfed by CG again, you know?
Yeah, you don't know what they're going to call as not working as... Never mind,
Like-
I'm not even going to quote.
I know Magma doesn't require a Zeta, but I really feel he's going to end up getting nerfed because the last couple of dudes that added turn meter to characters got nerfed in the Sith Raid.
I mean, the Magma Trooper and the Thrawn, I can see that one working as intended already because the mechanics are like built into the kit for one, and you have to run Thrawn in the lead to get the turn meter for Magma Trooper. So you're pulling Thrawn out of a team for like a team like you're throwing in with Death Trooper to hit the fracture and hit the death mark 4 times, you know, or you can pull it from another Empire team that's kind of using Thrawn as a healer and manipulating the turn meter. You're pulling from that team. So if you run the Grand Admiral Thrawn Magma Trooper combo in Phase 1, I think that's working as intended because it's not going to give you as much damage as you're hoping, but it's still going to give you your percent that you have to do for the guild. If you don't have JTR, I think that's a good team to focus on.
And the best part about the Rey Jedi training team, if that's the one you're looking at specifically, it works for Arena and the Sith Raid. So you don't really have to make the decision that you're talking about, whether it's one or the other. To what Grim is saying,
True.
I wouldn't do anything exclusively for the Sith Raid right now. People are still working on teams.
Right.
Chances are they are going to introduce new characters that's going to make it easier on you. So because of that, I wouldn't focus on the Sith Raid. Always focus on trying to get a better arena rank. So it depends on where you are and how much you need a Zeta for it. But definitely don't do anything exclusively for the Sith Raid, especially right now when we know things are a little bit in flux.
Right, and then the Jedi Raid team, too, you don't need all 7 Zetas on R2-D2 and all that. I mean, the number crunch and combat analysis on R2 are a big plus, but again, if you're going against Emperor Palpatine teams, you're getting a lot of cleanses and giving them a lot of turn meter with that. And for me personally, when I run my Jedi Raid in Arena, I just run Rey, and she only has the Zeta on her lead, and then BB-8 has the roll with the punches. Those are the only 2 you really need to get those 2 going. And then you can build the other 3 tunes around your roster, and you want to build more than one arena team too as well. That's the hard thing about climbing now too. So you got to focus on farming 2 teams now as well.
All right. Next question.
Bimasu, question. Shouldn't Norn Rad be scouting planets for Galactus?
Really, Bimasu? All right, next question.
Yes.
Octave Connections. What do you think is a decent amount of damage for the new Sith Raid?
What was it, 4%?
I would still go with 2%.
Oh, 2%.
I mean, so if you have 50 people that can use a squad and do 2%, right, then you're fine. Especially with T6. T6 is going to be a lot harder than your heroic raid. But the key is going to be trying to get that 2% with different squads in each phase. And I think that's where people are having difficulty. Because in T6, people are reliant on Jedi Training Rey in each phase. And the Stormtrooper Han buff, or I shouldn't say buff, bug, is getting resolved. So all of that will change for you. But I think for the most part, it's going to be try to get about 2%.
Right.
Yeah, that's considerably more lenient than the 4% bit.
So the 4% thing makes sense, right? But it's if you are doing if you are doing the, what is it? If you're doing
the
Jedi
4%
Ray,
might not be.
the Jedi Ray separation stuff, right? Where you're trying to have different people with a full guild of Jedi training Ray do certain amount of damage so you can have a Jedi training Ray for each phase. But that's not going to work except for only like the top few percent. So in that case, you are better off just focusing as a guild on trying to get that 2% with different squads. Because otherwise you're not really contributing what you really can with your squad, right? You're focusing on Jedi training Rey so much that it's going to be at the detriment of other characters. So.
Right, and then you don't want to run like 3 teams in each phase and then not have enough to throw the sink at them in phase 4.
Exactly.
Danilo Papais. Question, did you know that there's a YouTube series called Chicken Watch 2K18?
Oh my gosh, Grande.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's a BuzzFeed thing.
What did we do, man?
Yeah. All right. So while we're doing that, so I don't know, let me see if you guys can see this. So what I've done is make a little table of numbers on here. And so each one represents a different spot, right? Just in the mods. So the top left one is equivalent to what you would see in the square. The top right is the arrow, and so on and so forth. And what I did was write what the bet speed secondary mod was for each of the slots, whether it's in the speed set, which was the little chart on the right, and if it's not a speed set, which was a little cross thing on the left. So what I did was figure out what the speed mods were, and then in the middle here, there is a table that shows the difference. And the differences will be what the separation is between your speed set versus the non-speed set. And you'll see what I highlighted, or what I circled in, I'll show it again. What I circled are the ones that I will want the speed set with. Combined, they give a deficit of 12 speed on your speed secondaries. So with those particular mods, if I use those circled ones with the speed set, he would get 12 less speed from the secondaries compared to his non-speed set. But with the speed set, he would gain 10% speed. So what I was looking at, which is on the screen right now, is his BB-8. And currently his BB-8 has plus 58 speed from mods. If you look at his total speed, it is 220. So that means his base speed on his BB-8 is 162. So if you put a 10% speed bonus on his BB-8, he will gain 16 speed versus the 12 difference that you would get for the speed secondaries. So for BB-8, John Moran will be better off using 4 speed sets, or 4 speed mods for the 4 circled ones that I have. So I can tell you right now, and I'll send him this afterwards. So for your BB-8, you will want a speed arrow as a primary. For your square mod, you will want to grab your 11 speed secondary speed set mod off your CLS. For your circle mod, you will want to grab your 9 speed secondary speed set off your CLS. For your cross mod, you are going to want to grab your 14 speed secondary speed set mod off your Ray Scavenger. For your diamond mod, you will want to grab your 16 speed secondary off your Jin. And for your triangle mod, you are going to want your 16 speed off of your Poe. So right now, your BB-8 is currently at 220 speed. If you use the mods that I suggested here, let me see what your total is going to be. And while I'm adding that up, what's the next question, Samely?
Camille Bukowski. Question, I'm in a guild that runs 3 heroic pits and 2 HAATs a week. I feel like a little leech. Like I mentioned, I'm level 79 and I'm 3 weeks away from unlocking GK and 4 from Han. Doing fine in arena, top 50 and top 3 in fleet. My guild is doing the raids fine without me. How can I effectively contribute to the guild? Farm TB / territory war tunes.
I mean, you're building your roster, so there's really nothing extra you need to do.
That's kind of like what Tits was talking about last night. You know, like she felt like she was dragging her guild down. Like it's all just a time-consuming game. Like you don't have to, you know, feel like you're weighing down your guild. For one, they want you there. For two, it's all about the members that you play with. For me personally, I've been, you know, I technically started our guild back in the day, and you know my buddy was the leader, and you know it's all about keeping communication and you know doing your part, yeah, but at the same time, like, don't feel like you're weighing your guild down. They want you there, you contribute, you do your part, and it really matters.
Well, and like you said, communication is key. If you feel like you're bringing your guild down, ask them, you know, what can I do to help out more? You know, I know my roster isn't great. Farming. What can I do? And they will, you know, point you in the right direction. Usually,
farm your Imperial troopers. I can advise that one.
Get your 600 in.
Yep.
Preach, Stanley. Yes.
And now it's easier for officers to figure out what you did.
Because it's fixed. Yay!
Yeah. All right. So adding up the numbers. Your BB-8, John Moran, would go from 220 speed to 273. And that is a much better BB-8 for your Jedi training rating.
That's science.
That's a perfect one for BB-8 right there.
So you'll do the same thing then with your R2. You'll do the same kind of comparison, and I can help you with that if you want to message me on Discord afterwards. And what you'll want to do when you're using the swuggo.gg tool, when you go to your filters, there is an option here that says exclude squads. And all you want to do is make a squad with the characters that you've already modded once this is updated. So you can either force update or you can wait until it updates with your arena payout time. Create a squad that just has BB-8 and then exclude squads. So now all the mods on BB-8 won't show up when you're doing your searches, and then you can again compare your non-speed set mods with your speed set mods and figure out which is more beneficial and what can make your R2 the fastest. Taking a quick glance at this, I would be surprised if you wouldn't be able to get like at least a 250, maybe even a 260 speed R2 to go along with a 273 BB-8, because you have fairly decent high double-digit mods. Or right in the middle, right? So you have a lot of 16s, 15s, 14s, 13s. That's pretty decent. So I think once you remod your characters, and we can help you with that offline too, but this was just a strategy on how to do it, I think you'll be much better off in Arena with your current squad. I don't think you need to change your squad up, just modifying it. And for your CLS and Han Solo, you can look specifically more for crit chance and crit damage mods, because you really just need the speed with Rey, BB-8, and R2-D2. And then you can try and get fast set-based mods for your CLS and Han Solo. So once you look at crit damage and crit chance, and you look for like the crit damage primary on a triangle and those kind of things, I think you'll be in a much better situation for Arena. You have some decent... Oh, you actually have decent... speed secondary, or some mods here with crit damage. Let me see if you have any crit chance or crit damage. Okay, we'll go to the next question too. What's the next, Ainley?
2 fingers. How about now?
How about now?
How about now?
How about now?
I want to find Grande's chicken. That's all I gotta say.
He's probably got both of them.
I don't know. He was having more fun watching, what is it, Choke and Spank?
Choke and Spank, yeah.
Still can't believe you named him Choke and Spank.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, well, that's Grande for you. I love the
True.
guy. All right, next question.
Addicts Math Mod. Has anyone gotten Magma to work in the heroic tier?
I've seen screenshots of it doing reasonable, but I haven't personally attempted heroic yet. I know Ranger was working on it. I don't know if anybody from...
Mine's Gear 8, no.
Yeah.
And we're not
it
doing heroic Sith raid too, so.
The only one I saw was in McMull's video.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
that's the only one I've seen right now, and I think I've seen some screenshots as well, but nothing that I can really say I've done. So I can't say for sure, but it looks like it should work. It doesn't look like the potency is increased too much, although there is the level increase. But if you have decent tenacity with Magma, I think you're fine.
Yeah, and it'll work as intended, and plus it's not about like the tenacity against the raid boss. It's more along the lines of just chipping away with that extra damage that Magma Trooper does, and then it works. It's a good mechanic.
Here was my problem with it: is you don't need to mod Magma for tenacity. It works regardless. I tried it with a completely unmodded, no mods on him whatsoever, and he was still, gaining the 90% turn meter every time he attacked. So that's why I say he's going to get nerfed.
I wonder if
he doesn't even need the speed either. It's just the turn meter gain. It's 90% turn meter gain. That's intense.
I wonder though if it's not an issue with because his tenacity up is only plus 30, and his max base tenacity is only like 40, right? So somewhere around like plus 70, you automatically start out with the plus 100.
Right.
So if you don't have any mods, I feel like maybe there's something. I don't want to call it a nerf, because it may not just be working as intended. Right?
It is. Again, it's the turn meter gain. It's not the speed of this.
Well, no, I'm wondering if the tenacity isn't working as intended. Like somewhere the tenacity is higher than where it's supposed to be, not because of what's written, but because it's coded wrong somewhere.
I see what you're saying.
Because it doesn't seem like I haven't seen it yet, Grim, so maybe you can comment on it. He shouldn't be resisting that much with only plus 100 tenacity. He should still be only resisting like 15% of the time.
Right. It's the first couple of turns.
Every time. Not every time he uses his basic, he gets 90% turn meter. Every single time.
Yeah.
Regardless of mods, regardless of, all you need is Thrawn is the lead. But he's gaining that turn meter every time he attacks.
Exactly, yeah. And again, Thrawn has to be the lead to get the extra turn meter. Yeah.
I know I probably shouldn't talk about Paul Morgan, but I don't want people to be focusing all their resources on Magma, only to have CG whack him with the Nerf bat and people start whining about it.
Yeah, it seems
you
like
were warned.
I want to be careful about calling this a nerf. The Stormtrooper Han thing was kind of a nerf because they actually changed the abilities. Magma Trooper seems like maybe there's something off about his tenacity calculation. So I'm wondering if it's not necessarily a nerf, but a bug fix with Magma that may be coming if that's actually happening. But Addix is saying that he only sees it in tier 6, so maybe they won't change anything if it's not working heroic.
Right, and the thing is it's not a team that's going out and soloing phase 1, it's just doing your part in phase 1. That's the main thing, and the worst part about it is having to sacrifice Thrawn. It's the lead, but in the long run, you'll still have other tunes that can, do the extra hits on top of Death Mark, so you can find other, like that phase 3 team where you had like CLS, Han Solo, Hermit Yoda, Death Trooper, and either you can use Chirrut or Rex for the tenacity up, but it's better to use Chirrut because you're also getting health with that too as well.
Yeah.
So you're getting a good team with phase 1 with Thrawn and Magma Trooper. And it's all about just figuring out what your roster's at to fill in the other 3 tunes and do your part in that phase.
Right. Alrighty. Next question.
This isn't a question, but a statement. Octave Connections. Finn should do my mods for the low price of 99 cents every 6 characters he perfectly mods.
Dude, you're in my guild. Just ask me and I'll help you. So silly.
Now it's $1.
He knows I'll help him. I help anyone in my guild. All right.
What a guy.
Next question.
Camille Bukowski, considering Scimitar is my first reinforcement ship, who should I cast the slip-through ability on? I run hybrid target lock team with Biggs, Ty, and OG Kylo's shuttle. What are your suggestions? I always cast it on Biggs if he's alive, but what if he's already down?
If he's down and he's running regular TIE fighter, that extra dodge chance can work in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it actually work for me on several occasions where I give it to him and he goes, I dodge, and my jaw hits the floor because that usually doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, if your capital ship is falling behind in turn meter, putting it on regular TIE fighter is really useful. I had a similar issue, and that is why I keep Umbaran in my starting lineup. So once Biggs dies, I bring in Scimitar and put it on Umbaran, because he can actually dispel on his basic as well, and it protects all the other ships, and he's really tanky. So Umbaran is the ship that I do with mine. With yours, so
ship.
Yeah, so the combination he said, so he has Biggs, OG Kylos, that's Kylos command shuttle. What was the other ones that he had? TIE fighter.
It just says ties, plural.
Okay, so he's probably using FOTP and Imperial TIE. Biggs.
Maybe TIE Advanced.
Yeah, he might be using TIE Advanced as well. I would definitely not put it on TIE Advanced. He's too squishy. I wouldn't put it on FOTP because his ship you want to be alive so he can just keep on killing things. Yeah, of those choices, I would actually pick Imperial TIE Fighter. So you can try and just dodge bonus your way up to an extra turn or so. The other thing you can consider is still that really nasty combo of Millennium Falcon coming off the bench with the Kylo's command shuttle. You guys
now, if you do have the First Order TIE Fighter, you could put it on that, and it'll put it on the Kylo shuttle, because every time Kylo shuttle gets damaged, the First Order TIE Fighter will gain 25% turn meter.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one thing that would work.
Ooh, I just realized you could put it on. He's not using it, but you could put it on the TIE Slicer too, so then he keeps on using his basic and stunning. That would be pretty neat too. That ship is also pretty squishy, but you could get a lot of stuns out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the TIE Slicer's been popping up a lot lately.
You didn't say.
I love the TIE Silencer, man. That ship is so good. Especially with Chimera. Because you can one turn kill somebody with Chimera and the TIE Silencer.
You got any Zetas on your crew, Grim?
I have his leadership Zeta.
Nice. That probably makes him a little more fun.
Well, 7-star. All I need is ship Omegas, and then that ship is done.
Yeah, ship Omegas should be coming sooner than later, right?
I hope so. But like, I really enjoy. I'll use the Chimera's single where he calls a target to attack.
Yeah,
and use it on the silencer.
Nice.
To either to hit the dude that has the lowest turn meter to give the silencer advantage.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll use his missiles the next turn, which usually pops. It'll pop any ship in one turn.
And he said it was hitting for like 150k, you said?
I had hit for 200k earlier today on Biggs.
That's awesome.
Full HP and protection Biggs. So,
dude, that's awesome.
It's a mean ship, dude.
It is.
That's why I keep on telling everybody, farm it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to do my crew. But, I mean, all my other First Order tunes are really good around it. It's just waiting for Executioner to get me going on that faction, really.
All right. Let's see if we can get 2 more questions in.
Norin Rad, I feel like it's harder to get speed mods with speed secondaries to drop on other mod types, i.e. health crit chance mods. Do you think the drop rates are different or just bad RNG?
RNG. They're just bad all around. Just awful. So I can show you.
Yeah, bad RNG.
Yeah, so I removed a bunch of mods that I wasn't going to ever level up because they didn't have speed secondaries, right? So since then, Grande told me he wanted me to put mods on all the characters. So I said, fine, it doesn't really bother me. You can see the number of level 1 mods that I have that don't have any speed secondaries. I am loaded up, especially on the left column, with a bunch of mods that don't have speed secondaries, and I've been farming for the last week. And that's a speed set, so it's just bad all around. It's just awful. I managed to get one good one yesterday from a blue mod, which I got lucky. It came up. It was a blue, so level C mod that had a 4-speed start, and I leveled it up and got 2+6s on it, so it went up to a 16. So I was thrilled because that was the best mod I had gotten in like a couple weeks here. So I stopped for a little while to finish off Death Trooper. But when I was farming before that, for like two weeks before that, it was awful. Just awful. So I was happy I got something at least. Actually, let's test my luck here. I have enough for 1 speed mod. Let me see what I can get. I'm going to guess
the RNG gods find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yeah, well, I got traps.
That's why you get bad luck.
The RNG gods have led me astray many times.
Gotta pray to them every night.
It is justified. All right, one last question.
Bad Rongo. Question, what's the best slot for TIE Slicer? I run Thrawn, First Order TIE pilot, TIE Fighter pilot, Vader and Biggs. Bar and Maul crew in backup.
I use them in my starting line.
I would put him in like a 3rd or 4th slot. But that's just me. I'm also only seeing 4 ships. Right? Because you said Thrawn, that's a capital ship, FOTP, TIE Fighter pilot, Vader, and Biggs, right? So I'm missing a 5th ship.
I don't know what he runs for his 5th.
Yeah. Umbaran. I don't like Umbaran off the bench. Umbaran's, I think, greatest strength is when he's in the starting lineup and your Biggs dies and your Scimitar can come in and basically keep Umbaran unstealthed and stealth everything else because he's a tanky ship. I don't know about you guys. I am not a fan of Umbaran off the bench. I don't think he provides a lot.
I think, Umbaran I think is best in your starting line. But the reason I say crew in the starting line is probably one of the best ones because my crew is 7-star Gear 11 with the 7-star ship, and he always goes first. He is the first ship to go, regardless. And every time you shoot somebody, he's gaining speed. So he's going faster and faster and faster.
Yeah. But he's
he's already fast enough as it is, too.
Yeah. But he's not terribly hard to take out. And the thing I don't like about him is that the AI doesn't play him very well. I know, at least in the starting lineup, he speeds up.
Right.
But the AI doesn't play him well. Like, it uses his special quite a bit when you're better off, like, using his basic and trying to stun somebody. And I like him more as a manual ship. That's why I was thinking, like, 3rd or 4th slot. Kind of in that same category, I would put Poe. I like Poe in the 3rd or 4th slot because the AI doesn't play him well, but he's a TFP killer. So...
yeah, it's a good way to knock down a TIE Fighter pilot.
Mm-hmm. So I like him in reinforcements. Same thing with the Slicer. I've used him in the reinforcements. He's not my standard, but I do put him occasionally in there. And I like him coming off the bench. I think I would drop too much if I put him in my starting. But yeah, so... yeah, I think I would put Umbaran in your starting lineup, put Scimitar as your 1st, and then I'm fine with crew being like your 3rd. I don't know if you don't have your 4th unlocked yet. And then I don't know what you would want in your 2nd spot. But something. Maybe you haven't said Slave 1, so maybe like a Slave 1 or something in your 2nd spot. So, alright. So that's it for today's lunch stream. Xylo, do you want to go ahead and pimp your stuff?
Yeah, it's your boy Xylo Takedown. You can check me out on YouTube, Xylo Takedown SWGOH. Just put out a video yesterday on no Zeta Veers to finish the IPD mission, no crazy mods, pretty average gear too as well. Some other videos on there too. Check it out, like and subscribe, and really appreciate it too. Thanks for having me on the show too, by the way, you guys.
Mm-hmm. And Sanely, anything you want to pimp today?
Nope.
All right. And then Grim.
Yeah, I got YouTube as well. Search Galaxy Heroes Grim. Look for the skull with the anarchy symbol. I haven't really posted very much here recently because I've been working on figuring out the Sith raid. So hopefully I'll have some content up on that soon.
All right. And this is, of course, the Reality Skewed Gamers YouTube channel. Thank you guys for joining us during your lunch stream. I am Finity, filling in for Ranger, who is currently out, but he should be back tomorrow. Make sure to check us out every weekday at noon Eastern Time for our lunch stream. We also, yesterday and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, do our regular weekly Swuggo live stream where we go through the news and notes of the last week. Saturday morning, we have Jedi Academy, which is a pure question and answer stream. So you guys can join us and ask questions of some of the best YouTubers out there, including, we now have Warrior, Ramon, Azab, who are game changers. And last week, we also had Cubs fan Han. So make sure that you guys join us and check that out. And you can get a lot of advice on any questions and stuff that you guys have. And of course, we also have a new YouTube channel, RSG Mature, that is intended for 18 and older, where Ranger and a bunch of guests, including Grim and T Money, get totally cut up at night. It is definitely a mature stream. It is on a different channel. Again, it's RSG Mature, so you guys can go and subscribe to that. That is at Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And just to kind of shout out, I see Teals in the chat, so I want to shout out. He is part of the League of Extraordinary Nerf Herders, which is also including good old Maurice, T-Money, and Darth Bob. They do a stream Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where they also go through some of the different strategies and stuff. So I know Teals has a lot planned for today, so make sure that you check them out. Again, that's the League of Extraordinary Nerf Herders. So make sure that you guys check them out tonight. So with that, I am Finity, and I am signing out, brought to you by Chef Boyardee Mac and Cheese.